So, I was telling you guys about the fear that people don't want to experience when they have to transition into the box. And I want folks to understand that the fear, like I believe, is literally something that's been created. It's the fear to die. They made us afraid of it. Like, for example, like we are thinking about how and when, like when's the time to die? How are we going to die? Not the fact that we want to escape this box, that we're all in our individual box. Because when we're newborns, we're not afraid. We'll walk towards a fire. We'll walk off a cliff. We're not afraid of anything because we haven't been taught fear. We haven't been taught about dying. We don't even think about dying. And because we're not thinking about dying, we're not afraid of anything. And that's where the fear comes from. And that's where they make money off us. Because when I tell you that I can visualize every single one of us in our own box, like we're in a box. I see it. It's like I'm a cloud around the entire planet. And I can see everyone in their box, like moving around like ants, just moving around in the box. And when they look up, they see the same sky because that's the outside of the box. And the only way that you can get and leave outside of the box is to die. And we're not afraid of dying. We want to go, like I said, we want to escape the box. We want to go to the next thing. We want to see what the spirit world is. We do. But it's how are we going to die? Are we going to burn? What does it feel like to not breathe? That's what I was saying. Like, is it going to hurt? Are we going to drown? That's what we're afraid of. And that fear, when you're newborn, you don't have that. You don't have those thoughts. So you're not afraid to die. So there's no fear. But they got to teach you the fear, because if they don't teach you the fear, how are they going to control you? You can't control somebody that's fearless. That's why fearless people become successful. They're some of the richest people on the planet. Because that's why they say if you want to be successful, you have to take risks. That means you have to try to experience less fear. So if you want to escape the box, you have to think like a baby. You have to think like a newborn. And then they say kindergarten is the lowest level of education. But really, I believe that kindergarten with the youngest kids, that's the highest level of education. Because you haven't been conditioned. You know things that they're trying to unteach you. They're trying to unteach you the natural state. They're trying to teach you fear. They read you children's books where, the bunny rabbit, got eaten by the wolf. The Three Little Pigs' house got blown down. The Little Red Riding Hood got eaten. Her grandma was ravished by a wolf. They teach you fear from the moment you go to school, if you haven't already learned it at home. But before any of that, before any of scaring you, you are outside of the box. You're already out there, and then you're dropped in. And they do it around kindergarten and preschool. They drop you in the box. And then when I feel like I can look down, it's like you're one of those little ants just in the box, just bouncing off the walls. Boop, boop, boop. Just wherever you go, there's no escape out. So you can't go up, you can't go side to side. And you know that the only escape out the box is dying. And that's what gives me anxiety. And I'm going to keep explaining it because it's therapeutic for me. Instead of keeping the whole idea of this box vision that I've been having for over a decade from haunting me. Because I know I can't leave the box. I'm scared because we all going to have to leave the box. There's no choice. We have to go. We're going to go. But when are we going to go? How are we going to go? Nobody wants to talk about that because it's scary. But we all know that one day we're not going to breathe that because it's scary. But we all know that one day we're not going to breathe. Our heart isn't going to work. Our brain's going to die. We know that's going to happen. And that's what causes my anxiety. And as much as y'all don't want to say it causes anxiety for you, and you want to call people like me crazy, you know damn well you think about being in the box all the time. And you always also think about when you're going to leave and how you're going to leave. We don't even really care about where we're going to go. There's all kinds of spiritual books all over my house. I'm very curious, just like most people. Ooh, the spirit world. Are we going to go to space? Or is our energy going to travel? We want that. But we don't want to burn in a fire. Yeah. And what if when we do transition over and we've already experienced how we're going to get there and when we got there, and we leave the box and we're gone, we realize that it's not over. The spirit world isn't what we thought. And we're still conscious. And now we remember our transition out of the box. So we're reliving the memory of how we left the box because we're conscious of it. And so when we think, okay, we're all trapped in this box and there's no way out. Everybody's frustrated because they're in this box going crazy and they want out. They're afraid to leave now, but they finally leave. They get over the fact that they were burned alive. And now they're on the other side. And the other side is the continuation of being in the box. And it's not over. I don't mean to be repeating myself, but my lights just flickered. I don't mean to be repeating myself. I know I said this earlier in part 2. But what if it's not over? And I don't really like to speak in what ifs, but that's the only way that we can talk about how you would leave the box, experience the trauma of